Hey guys, in this video I want to tell you what I believe is Fuji's best X lens that you can buy. I do have a lot to say in this video, but some of you don't like hearing me rant. So those of you who don't, the too long didn't watch version of this video is that I believe that this, the 90mm f2, is Fuji's best overall lens for the X system. And in this video I'll be explaining why that is, but also why it's not some of these other lenses, which are some of them, all of them really, also excellent for different reasons, but not the overall best. I'll be diving into an explanation of all of that. Feel free to use the chapter navigation markers to find the places that are most interesting for you. But before we dive into all that, I do want to remind you guys that we have an exciting photo contest happening right now, which is designed to motivate and inspire all of us to go out and do good things with our cameras. We have almost $10,000 worth of prizes to give away, including the X100V, which I have right here. We also have a $1,000 gift card to give away from our friends at KEH.com. We also have over $1,000 worth of products from B&H, who's also a sponsor of the contest, and a lot of other stuff from the sponsors that I'll show you right now on the screen. And all you have to do to enter is to submit a photo or video that you shot in 2020 providing some form of service or documenting service being done. For more details, please go to dogoodwithyourcamera.com, and if you want to enter to win one of these prizes now, the easy way is just to share the website dogoodwithyourcamera.com and hashtag dogoodwithyourcamera on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. The contest ends December 31st, so start thinking some ways that you can do some good with your camera. There's still plenty of time. And if you're viewing this in the future, remember that this contest is yearly, so there's always a bit of motivation to do some good aside from, just wanting to do good things. Okay, so let's talk about Fuji's best lens, in my opinion. To understand why I believe that this is Fuji's best overall lens, we first need to understand why some of the other main candidates are not. And we also need to understand what we mean by best. Some of you know that I have developed some lens calculators on our website to help newer Fuji shooters figure out which zoom or prime lenses are going to work best for them. These calculators have been developed after years of shooting and reviewing Fuji lenses, and I've gotten great feedback from you guys and tweaked that algorithm to better dial in the results. I feel pretty good about the recommendations that those calculators provide. But in that process, I feel like I've gained some deep insights into the strengths and weaknesses of the Fuji X lenses. And here are some of the lenses that I have in front of me that you many of you will be annoyed that I'm not naming as Fuji's best. First off is my beloved 16mm 1.4. Now let's not confuse best with favorite. This lens is by far my favorite Fuji lens, maybe my favorite lens ever, but I'm not so in love with it that I cannot recognize that it's not perfect. It's not Fuji's sharpest lens, and it's very loud when it's focusing, so it doesn't quite meet my standard of what a best lens might be. Some will say that Fuji's newest X-mount lens, the 50mm 1.0, which is dusty, is the best. And if your definition of best is that it has the shallowest depth of field, then yeah, this would be your best. But this lens struggles to gain focus on the eye, as I learned in my first impressions review of it that some of you watched. Since then, DENAE, in fact, has refused to use this lens in portrait situations because she gets more misses than she does with the 56 1.2. And yes, for those who claim that my eye focus test that I did in my first impression video was invalid because I was taking photos of my son, he was wearing a bike helmet and glasses. I don't think that's an invalid way to take portraits personally, but just to appease some of you guys, I did take more photos of my son without the helmet and without the glasses. And yes, it did better without glasses on my son, but it still had misses. And we see misses with this, especially when wide open, but not always. Even at 2.8, we see more misses for whatever reason than with some of the other lenses. Now, it's not a true scientific study because I haven't tested them side by side in a controlled situation. But our overall impression of this lens is that it's not reliable enough. Even the 1.2 isn't completely reliable on Fuji, not as much as other systems, and no system is perfect, but the 90, it's better. It nails focus a lot more often for us. And yes, many of you have been asking, we do have and did have the most current firmware on the 50 1.0. But besides all that, while many say that this lens is also sharper than the 56 1.2, even if that's true, it's still not on par with the 90. Next up, we have the 50 to 142.8 zoom lens, and this is a really great lens, one that I love and have used. It's a workhorse. It's very good at focusing quickly and accurately. It's very sharp all through the zoom range, but this suffers from in the quality of bokeh department, which it's not the most important thing in the world, but it's not as good as the 90 f2, and we are being nitpicky here. It also has a tendency to create some strange hard lines on borders of things, edges of things. It's been documented. If you want to see a video on that, I'll link to one below. Lee Zavitz brought that to my attention. The 80mm 2.8 macro, which I don't have that lens anymore. I sold it because I just didn't shoot macro enough. But I think I would rate that lens as second place in Fuji's lenses. It's superbly sharp, one of the best macro lenses out there in any system, according to some pro macro shooters that I've heard of. But again, some cat's eye bokeh in the background, and it has a slowness of focus, of course, because of that range. It also slightly underperforms in low light with focusing, so it doesn't quite make it to the same level as the 90. Some of you will say that the 35-1.4, which I also don't have, is the best lens. I hear that all the time, but guys, I don't get it. It's a loud lens, it's got external focus, it feels clunky, and this is gonna be blasphemy to many of you, but I don't think it's anything special optically. I hear a lot of you, even professional Fuji X photographers, say that there is something magic about that lens. And if magic is a category of rating lenses, then by all means, I can't fault you for using it as a criteria, but I don't know how to quantify magic. For me, the 35-1.4 is old. It's fine. It's fine. And maybe I'm just not artistic enough to see that special magic that many of you see. I guess that's a possibility, but since I have not been to Hogwarts School of the Gifted, I will stick with my technical analysis and say that it's fine. It's an okay lens, but it is not at the same level as the 90. There are other lenses that I like and that I recommend all the time. The 14-2.8, the 8-16-2.8, the 50 f2, the 23-1.4, but none of them balance focusing accuracy, speed of focus, quiet focus, sharpness, lack of distortion, vignetting, lack of vignetting, quality of bokeh, weather resistance, internal focusing, and magnification ratio, like the 90 f2 does. Now your best, it's probably different than mine. You may have different criteria. Some of you will rate the size of the lens as a bigger factor. Some of you will include price as a pretty big factor. I did not include price because I'm willing to spend what it takes to get, in my opinion, the best. So you'll have your own criteria, and if yours is different than mine, I would encourage you to go to, again, my website, denaeandandrew.com/lenses, and use those calculators to figure out what lens might be a good place to look. I would use that as a starting point. Still do more research, of course. Don't just wholly rely on an automated tool that I created. But you'll be able to dial in your own hierarchy of needs there to get a custom recommendation. That will even take into account angle of view if you want. But for me, the 90mm f2 balances all of what I think are most important aspects of high quality lenses better than any of these other Fuji lenses. But that's just my opinion. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I'd love to hear your respectful disagreements in the comments below. But in the meantime, remember to do some good with your camera, and we'll talk to you again real soon.